For 20 years, we lived in the software era. Code felt invisible, scalable, and weightless. But generative AI requires millions of calculations per word. To satisfy that demand, tech companies are forced to build massive, power-hungry physical data centers. Tech executives like Sam Altman are hitting a hard ceiling. Their ambitious algorithms are completely gated by the physical servers they can actually get their hands on and plug into a wall. The competition has moved off the screen. It is now a multi-trillion-dollar battle over raw acreage, copper wire, electricity, and silicon. We're watching the largest capital expenditure boom in history. Hundreds of billions of dollars are migrating away from traditional software-as-a-service startups and pouring directly into heavy infrastructure. The tech hierarchy has flipped. Writing the best code no longer guarantees success. If you do not own the physical hardware to run it, you cannot compete. The first major winners in this new reality are power companies. You can buy all the computer chips you want, but the ultimate limit to artificial intelligence is the sheer number of gigawatts required to turn those chips on. Data center operators are so desperate for electricity that they are bypassing the traditional grid. They are buying up massive industrial gas turbines and even commercial ship engines just to keep their servers running. Alternative energy providers are cashing in by building behind-the-meter power solutions. Behind the meter means the electricity is generated locally, directly on the site of the data center, which lets companies avoid years-long grid interconnection delays. The second major bottleneck is memory, specifically high bandwidth memory, or HBM. HBM involves stacking memory chips vertically, like microscopic skyscrapers, allowing massive amounts of data to travel to the processor almost instantly. A new class of companies called neoclouds, specialized cloud providers that exclusively rent out high-performance AI hardware, are hoarding these memory-rich clusters and leasing them back to desperate tech giants at enormous premiums. The next trillion-dollar empires are not being built by app developers. They are being built by the landlords who control the electricity and the data bandwidth. This hardware boom comes with massive collateral damage. AI's insatiable appetite is silently eating the global supply of raw materials and manufacturing capacity. Semiconductor factories have a finite amount of space. To make room for lucrative AI chips, manufacturers are intentionally slashing the production lines dedicated to everyday consumer electronics. This chart shows why. On the left, extreme profit margins for AI memory. On the right, razor-thin margins for smartphone memory. As smartphone memory supply plummets, consumer prices climb. A new phone's materials could jump by $100, killing the affordable market. While consumers pay more for their devices, white-collar workers face a separate squeeze. The expensive AI hardware driving up these costs is being specifically trained to automate the daily tasks of junior software engineers and financial analysts. The consumer absorbs this shock twice. You pay at the register and in the labor market as these systems displace your career. Even with infinite money, the AI industry faces a hard mathematical ceiling in the form of EUV lithography. EUV stands for extreme ultraviolet, a process that uses highly focused light to carve microscopic circuits into silicon wafers. Only one company on Earth, a Dutch firm called ASML, manufactures these machines. They are arguably the most complex devices in human history, and ASML can only physically produce about 100 of them per year. That production bottleneck places a strict limit on the total volume of advanced chips that can be printed. By the end of this decade, there is a hard cap on how fast global AI compute can scale, and the entire system rests on a highly vulnerable geographic foundation. All of those complex machines and silicon wafers trace back to a single island. The world is completely dependent on TSMC, the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. A single naval blockade or major disruption in the Taiwan Strait would instantly drop global AI hardware expansion to zero. The most expensive technological leap in human history relies entirely on a single, precarious geopolitical choke point. While American companies dominate the algorithm design, China holds a massive advantage in rapid energy deployment, heavy industry, and physical manufacturing. Chinese firms are leveraging open-weight AI models, systems where the core architecture is freely available to download, allowing them to skip the software arms race entirely and focus their vast manufacturing base directly on advanced robotics and automated factories. Over the next 10 years, The companies securing generational wealth are those investing in the raw physical materials, power generation, and silicon fabrication required to run these systems. The illusion of the infinite invisible cloud is over. We have entered the expensive, fragile, and hyper-physical reality of the hardware era.